Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the e-commerce lab by Ecomcy, the place of a related to Amazon, FBA, product level, and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring another special guest. His name is Mina Elias, which is one of the top guys in the industry when it comes to PPC, founder and CEO of Trivium Group, which is also one of the top agencies when it comes to really making sure you can scale your brand on Amazon. And that's why I wanted to bring Mina. Like I've been following this guy for a while now. When I got started in the industry, I saw a lot of his content when Helium 10, when you did, your course when it came to PPC, all the content you put out there on a daily basis. And I told you this in person. I really appreciate what you do in the industry. So it's a pleasure to have you in the show. And I think today we're going to have a very insightful conversation about, Q4, TikTok, all the things that happen in the industry with Rufus, and much more. So, Mina, pleasure to have you. How you doing, my bro?
Amazing, man. Excited to be here and excited to, drop some knowledge and help some people.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I think every single time, and we had this conversation, you put things out there is usually adding a ton of value, and I'm sure today, all the things you're gonna drop around tips for Q4 specifically, which is something that's pretty much here, are gonna add a lot of value to Amazon sellers. But for those that live under a rock and maybe don't know Mina, just give us a quick intro by yourself, who you are, and then let's dive into the topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Would love to. So my name is Mina. I came to America in 2011 to become an engineer. Do the typical Middle Eastern family path. I graduated with top of my class, chemical engineering and chemistry, bachelor's, master's. Worked up corporate ladder, and then 5 years in, I was like, I hated my life. I was showing up to work every day,
Yeah.
clocking. I would wake up at 4:30 just so I can, hit the gym by 5, be at work by 7, work for 9 hours, commute for 45 minutes back. And it was like kind of miserable. And
Yeah.
I remember like I was just like, is this going to be the rest of my life? Like this can't be it. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I just signed up for to go to prison, basically. You know what I mean? So that's when the
Yeah.
idea came to me to start a supplement brand. So I started a supplement brand, didn't know how to do anything, didn't know anything about e-commerce. I created actually a website that had no buy button. So it's like, why do you even have a website, bro? Like you can't even sell
Yeah.
anything. So I didn't know
I
anything.
know.
I was just very fresh. And Amazon was like the thing that I was like, you know what? I buy all my stuff on Amazon. I want to get into Amazon. So that's how I got my start into Amazon. Not for the money or anything, just because like I had a supplement brand that I couldn't sell.
Yeah.
And then there was no information at all out there back in 2018. There was everything was bad information or incomplete information, lies, and guru stuff. So I
Mhm.
kind of made every single problem under the sun. Sorry, made every single mistake under the sun. Faced every problem, and just like an engineer, problem solving mindset. I figured every single one out. And I think I launched my brand November of 2018, and by December of 2019, it was doing $94,000 a month. And so it was just pure like hard work, making mistakes, learning, asking people questions, and like not being afraid to take action. And I basically, COVID hit, I started showing on podcasts like this and sharing everything that I knew. I had nothing to sell, and that's how I became who I am in the space. And the demand was massive for me to help people. I turned everyone down for a year. I wasn't going to do an agency just for the sake of like scaling my own brand. And then
Mhm.
you know t- end of 2020 hits. One company aggregator hits me up. They're like, we want to test you on one of our product, on one of our brands. Would you manage it? Because they wanted me to train their whole in-house team. And so I said, fine, I'll do it. And after 4 months, they said I outperformed all the other agencies that they hired. And so I was like, okay, I should just start an agency at this point. So I started an agency back in March of 2021 was our official incorporation. And now three-ish years later, we grew from one person to like 90 something people, and 180 brands under management. And just the goal is to continue to be like a leader in providing value to the industry, whether it's through content, free value, free education, resources. Like I want everyone to succeed. And then if they want to hire us, they're hiring us as an extension of their team, not as a
Mhm.
necessity or them feeling like my whole business is failing because I don't know what to do. Because when I first started, that's how I felt. I felt like this is like, I left America and I went to like a different country, different
Mhm.
planet that was
I
Amazon,
know.
and
I
nothing
know.
makes sense. There's no instructions. You don't, everything that you read doesn't make sense, and you're like just trying to figure it out.
Yes, bro. I mean, first of all, I have to, relate so much to your story. I'm an engineer by trade, and I can connect so much to what you just said. Like, I feel when I also realized that, yeah, I was living pretty much on a prison, and I was building the prison around me. It's like when I realized, man, I need to change this, otherwise I would be so unhappy. And the fact that you use what you just described, the technicality that we have as engineers to now put it into the Amazon space and actually add value to sellers, I feel that also speaks volumes in terms of where we are right now. The fact that we have that analytical mind, it helps us a lot, especially in things such as PPC, which is so numerical to some extent as well, right? Now, I think something I also like, and I'm sure that's where a lot of your tips are gonna come in the coming topics, is that you also started as a seller. So you saw, as you pretty much mentioned, all the mistakes that are possible as a seller, but you also discover all the wins that brought the success that made your brand be where it is right now. And I'm sure by going through all these Q4 as a seller and now as an agency, you have discovered a lot of trends that you see happening year after year, that essentially the backbone of making sure you can have a profitable a Q4, because a lot of people sometimes show the revenues right on Q4, but in reality, how many people are actually profitable, right? A lot of people make crazy numbers in Q4, but there's actually no money going to their bank. So tell us a little bit about what you as a seller and also a trading guys are doing as a principle, that these are like the most do things to have a successful Q4. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So with in Q4, I'm essentially focused on two things. Number one, how can I be positioned for success to in everything in terms of like ads, and I'll explain the funnel in a second, like ads, click through rate, conversion rate. And number two, how do I not lose money on the big days? So I think the biggest thing with Q4, maybe during Q4, everyone has some success, right? But
Mm,
when you hit the big days, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it is so easy to double, triple your revenue, but also double, triple your ad spend and end up like not making any additional profit. And so that those are kind of some of the big things to focus on in Q4. Q4 just means that there's going to be a lot more people coming in. Conversion rates will naturally increase on their own, and the site will get a lot more traffic. So basically, in a simple way, just saying, your main keywords, they're going to just have more search volume. So some things to keep in mind: Amazon works as a very simple funnel. People will type in keywords and they're going to find you, and a certain number of those people will click on you, and a certain number of those people are going to convert on your listing. And
mhm,
beyond that, like some other things that you can do is like, how do I set up some retargeting to bring people back that haven't converted,
mhm,
or if they did convert, get them back, etc. So the three stages are pretty simple when it comes to advertising. Number one is my advertising dialed where I'm auditing all of my search terms, and I'm making sure that I'm showing up in the right position to so that I'm converting profitably. What I mean by that is your bid is simply like a reflection of your position is a reflection of your bid. So if
mm,
I bid $1, I might end up in position 17 on a certain search term. And if I bid $1.50, it might take me to position 10. And maybe $2 takes me to position 5. Now, I just have to figure out which of those positions do I end up converting the best on. So again, the ads, all they do is they just show you up in a certain position, right? You don't
yes.
even it doesn't even charge you money. It just shows you. A certain number of those people are going to click on you, and that is going to be based on your click-through rate. The factors that affect click-through rate are going to be your main image, your price, reviews and star rating, discounts and coupons, FBA versus FBM, and the badge. So going into Q4, this is now your opportunity. Like there's no more time. It's at the end of October.
Hmm.
Make sure all that stuff is dialed in. Split test your main image. Try and get a better main image. Try different main images until you see a better click through rate. Utilize Pickpool. Split test your price. Can you increase by $1 and maintain click through rate and then get a higher a higher profit? Or if you drop your price, do you get 1.5 times your click through rate and get 1.5 times more people coming into your listing, 1.5 times more sales? Which, yeah, you're losing $1 or $2 per sale, but you're getting 20 more sales, 30 more sales a day. Is those things. Make like Don't make any mistakes with inventory, right? there's
Hmm.
there's no room for error with inventory. If right now you don't have enough inventory to last you past the end of January, send another shipment, right? Because check-in times are terrible, and the last thing that you want, I mean, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is in a month, right? So even if you have enough inventory to last that, make sure that you send in a lot of inventory now to last you, because if you become low on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and you're like, okay, let's get some more inventory in. Let's say it hits and you still have 30 days of stock left, you might run out of stock, because check-in times right now, I mean, for me, they're 3 weeks, and it could
Mm-hmm.
become 4 weeks. You know what I mean? It's natural. Amazon has a very high load of people sending shipments. So make sure, I mean, as soon as someone sees, like today's October 21st, as soon as someone sees, oh, you're gonna receive it October 26th, only 6th, 5 days later, too long, I'm not interested, I don't want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Conversion rate plummets. So
Yeah.
inventory management is huge. Discounts and coupons, this is another kind of playing with fire type of situation, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they can help you, right? Definitely, but they can also just suck all of your profit out, right? And
Exactly.
you might be like, I mean, I used to run lightning deals all the time. I would run the lightning deal. It would be like, I don't know how much, 30% discount. Then at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, today I sold 120 units. How much profit did I make that day? Like
Yeah.
50, $60. Like
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
And
And some
and
people do it blindly. That's unfortunately something that in the Amazon space I see all the time. People do things because they try to follow a blueprint of what they see in social media and everything. Yes, everybody has to run Prime deals. Everybody has to do Black Friday deals. Everybody has to do, and then it's like you actually don't sit down and see if it makes sense for you. You see?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. So again, running the ads, I'm going to discuss a little bit more about it also for
Mhm.
Q4, but running the ads is just showing you up. A certain number of people are going to click on you, so optimize those factors to get the most number of people coming to the listing, and then a certain number of those people are going to convert on your listing based on the rest of your images, the videos on the listing, brand story, premium A plus content, your reviews. So make sure all of that stuff is optimized as well. Like, it only takes 1 or 2 weeks for you to go, find a company like yours or mine or anyone, and get a full listing revamp. Improve the SEO so that you're indexing on all keywords, improve the images, get brand story, premium A plus. So do all those things so that when the extra traffic comes on Q4, you're taking advantage of it. It's not just coming in and then clicking on you, not converting, or not clicking on you. The second thing is, with your ads, one of the most important things I like to keep in mind in Q4 is, how can I make sure that my ads are being leveraged to increase my organic rank? Increasing organic rank, in my opinion, is somewhat simple, right? It's a factor of converting the most for a certain keyword. Now, if you optimize your click-through rate and optimize your conversion rate, naturally that helps. Now, if you, let's say, like, artificially inflate the number of conversions you're getting at a loss, obviously, hopefully not a loss, but even at a
Mhm.
loss, you're also going to increase your rank. And what I mean by that is, take a keyword like electrolyte powder. I want to rank really high organically for it before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when there's going to be a ton of traffic coming in. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to increase the bids really hard, convert more times, even at a loss. So I can go from a 40% ACOS to 113% ACOS. But instead of converting 2 times a day, I'm converting 12 times a day. As a result, my organic rank will start going up. And I can see that in the, in Cerebro or Jungle Scout, or, the search query performance report, all those things. And as long as I'm increasing my positioning, that's good, because then when the important days like Black Friday, Cyber Monday comes, like I said, you want to lower your bids on your ads. You don't want to show up high. You don't want to bleed from all that traffic. So I like to lower everything down. Maybe show up in the middle of page two for a lot of the big keywords. Small keywords,
Mhm.
long tail keywords, I might be interested in still showing it up high, but definitely, like, all the other like short, broad keywords that are like very high search volume, those ones are dangerous, because again, you could just get an influx of window shoppers,
Mhm.
and they're destroying all of your progress, throughout Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So those are things to keep in mind. The final thing that I've also seen increasing organic rank, that really kind of doesn't have anything to do with what's happening inside of Amazon, is seeing stuff like, external traffic from TikTok Shop. So
Mhm.
when we launched TikTok Shop on my own product, MMA Nutrition,
Mhm.
I did not see good results in terms of sales and profits on TikTok Shop. But what I did see is, all of a sudden, all of my organic rank is going up, and a product that wasn't profitable became profitable. Became So I was losing $200-300 a week in profit. Now I'm making $500-600 a week in profit. Why? I mean, there's all this brand awareness around your product. People are seeing your product
Yes.
on TikTok Shop, and they're going looking for you on Amazon. Now, not only is that people coming from TikTok and converting, potentially converting. But also, I feel like Amazon sees that as a positive signal for your brand, and they decide to increase your organic ranking, saying, we want to reward this person for sending, people into our platform, looking specifically for this product. Because I will notice that my branded search goes up, but I will also notice that my organic rank for all like non-branded generic keywords is also going up. And I'm like, why is this happening? Now, I don't know why it's happening, right? Could be Amazon has a specific algorithm or something that they're doing, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. Anecdotally, that's just what I'm seeing. So that's another lever that you can pull, is utilizing something like TikTok Shop, especially because they make it so easy for you to get content at scale and share. You can have, I mean, right now we have about, for MMA nutrition, 350, 400 videos out there in
Yeah.
the TikTok Shop, in the TikTok, kind of platform, and we're
Yeah.
advertising like 100 of them. You know what I mean?
Um,
And so when you have like that kind of like brand awareness and views and impressions, and people are like, what is this product? Some people are talking good about it, let me go look for it on Amazon. That's all gonna add up for
yeah,
sure.
it gets virality, and I guess a question I have for you for TikTok, which I'm sure people might be asking you this all the time, is like, when it comes to the content, like you mentioned, like, I mean, over 400 type of videos that you have out there, like for sellers that haven't done any piece of content at all, like, do you feel before getting started on TikTok, do you need to at least have maybe 30, 60 videos before you actually start the strategy? Or what is your plan of action for a brand that has never done any kind of content at all, and they have to start from scratch to leverage TikTok, for example?
Yeah. So the beautiful thing about TikTok Shop is all the content comes from other people, and
Yeah.
that's what I like, because I've never produced any piece of my own content. I've never took anything to a studio or anything like that.
Mm,
All of my I've never once sat out, outside with like got some models and like a videographer and like made content. It's always been, I'm just giving it to other people. I'm like, make your own content. You're a content creator. You know how to do this shit. So what we do is pretty simple. We open up the TikTok Shop account, and then I set up the account, like the listing, based exactly on Amazon. So I take the Amazon images, I take all the SEO, all of the content, everything. From there, I need to make the page look somewhat reasonable. So you can go to a platform like Incense.pro or Join Brands or whatever, and then pay people 20, 25, $30 per
mhm,
video, and they're going to make you a decent video, because these people
mhm,
are creators. So again, let's say 10 pieces of content, $300, 250 to $300.
mhm.
Now you have 10 pieces of content created by other people that look very natural. They're not selling the product. It's just user generated content. Cool. So you put it on your page. So now your page looks somewhat legit. I don't even
Mm,
think that's needed based on our consultant, but it's $300. It's an easy investment. So again, if you tell me like, how do I get this content? It's very simple. All you need is a very simple creative brief. In that creative brief, I use a tool called FastMoss. So FastMoss is like a Helium 10 for TikTok Shop. I find my top competitors, and I see what kind of videos are selling the most for the product. I make a nice little thing. I say, this is what my product is. This is what it does. This is the benefits. This is the target audience. Here's examples of competitors that have done a really good job in user generated content. You do what you want. You're the expert. You're the creator. But here's some inspiration to make your life easy. If like, for example, certain companies like ZBiotics, for example, they're telling us like, you can't ever use the word hangover cure, whatever. So if
yeah.
there's anything that we can't use, put it also there, and then it's a nice, very simple document you can send to people. So go into Instance.pro, create a like, it's almost like Upwork. Create a little
Nice.
project,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Like a brief, exactly. Yeah.
a
So
brief.
people know how to do.
Exactly. Put your guidelines, and then people start making it. And then you can move on to scaling. So we scale again in the exact same way I just described. We use a bot called Maven Reach, Maven Reach, and then they will plug into your TikTok Shop account and help you create a message, or we can help you create a message. It doesn't matter. And then you can scale outreach to people. And so like, it'll just automatically start sending messages to people, based on like criteria. Like, for example, anyone who has more than 5,000 followers, that has generated more than $500 in
Reach out.
sales, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they ask them like if they want to be an affiliate. I like to start with a more aggressive affiliate commission, like 30%.
Okay.
And then later on, if I hit virality, I'll drop it. But anyways, again, sending them an offer to work with us. And if they say yes and they request a sample, which is requesting a free product, I'm just gonna go look at their account first before approving it. And I feel like their content is good and I could benefit from that content. I'll approve the sample. They'll get the product, and then I'll keep following up with them until they make it.
Cool.
Once they make the video, I'll get a Spark code from them, which is the unique code of the video, and then take it and start running ads with it. And that's pretty much the whole system.
Cool. Now, you mentioned there two things, because I'm trying to think as a seller, just to make sure, I pick your brain as much as possible. You say sending samples, so I'm sure people is already asking themselves. These samples, usually, I guess you ship them using a multi-channel fulfillment from Amazon. You just ship it directly to the influencer. Is that correct? Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So using a software called WebB, I connect my TikTok shop to Amazon, and then anytime someone requests a sample, I say approve. TikTok shop will send the order to Amazon multi-channel fulfillment. Amazon will fulfill the order. And if you guys like, a certain amount of people listening to this will qualify for something called the SIP program, Amazon SIP. It's ships in product packaging, and what that means is you could essentially no longer use the Amazon bubbler mailer or the Amazon box, like the ugly type of packaging. You can actually have your product in your own packaging, and if it passes a certain, inspection, a drop test, you can actually ship it in your own branded box. So when Amazon sends it as MCF, people see it. It
Yeah,
comes
it's
in
a
the
brown
mail.
box.
It's a brand box. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. And now, in terms of advertising, so we talk about Sparks. Tell us a little bit about how advertising works, because I'm sure some people don't even have seen up the platform within TikTok when it comes to running ads. So people might be wondering, does it work based on keywords? Does it work based on audiences? How do you run ads on TikTok? Yeah.
Yeah, so TikTok, it's based on audiences, and so first of all, there's a campaign called GMV Max. GMV Max is kind of what's working right now, and it's basically like an auto campaign. Think of it as an auto
Mm-hmm.
campaign, right? And so that's easy. You can set it up, and you can let it do its own thing. Ultimately, what's gonna do, like, make the most difference on TikTok is your creatives. If your
Mm-hmm.
creative is good, it's going to convert. If your creative is bad, it might not convert, or most likely it won't convert. And so a big part of what you're doing is just simply improving the creatives that you're getting from the creators as much as possible. And so every time someone does a video, what you could potentially do is say, hey, amazing, great work, blah blah blah. Here's a couple other videos that look really good. Would you, if they have potential to kind of look like it, you say, would you be down to do it? I'll pay you, $20 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just and we want to run these videos as ads. Obviously, always kind of incentivize people to run the video as ads, because they're going to be like, oh wow, these people are serious. They're going to run the video as ads. And so creative is what matters the most. When I go create the campaigns, it's pretty simply, I'll start with one campaign, and then multiple ad groups in the campaign. I can control the budget on an ad group level, so I won't set a budget at the campaign level. It will only be on the ad group level, and in each ad group I'll put a video. Again, I'm pulling the Spark code that the creator sent me and putting it in there, and then it's going to tell me, okay, what audience do you want to target? And so I'll
Mm-hmm.
target a broad audience that makes sense. So if it's a men and women product, you can target anything. If it's a female product, just target females,
Mm-hmm.
ages, whatever, 18 to 65.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you can do from there is, first of all, you can look at which video has the best click-through rates. You can look at which video has the best conversions, but also you can, and let's say, like, I'll run ads for 10 videos, and I'm going to be like, let me find the one or two winners, and I'll kind of scale them in like a scaling campaign. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
have, you know testing campaign, scaling campaign. So in testing campaign, 10 ad groups. In the scaling campaign, there's one ad group for each of the videos I'm trying to scale. And then let's say, like, I ran 10 videos in the testing campaign. I'm going to go into audience insights, and I'm going to see in the audience insights what audience performed the best. So remember, we did open, right? And so I'm going to say, okay, cool. What performed the best? Oh, men and women over the ages of 35, so
Mm-hmm.
35 to 55, that performed the best. So when I do move them to the performance campaign, I'll have one ad group, or I could have just like kind of two inside the same ad group, but one normal, like the same open. The other one can be a tighter audience. The only thing I have to pay attention to is the frequency of the video. As long as it's under three, some people say five, but for me, as long as it's under three, which means people aren't seeing it more than three times,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm cool with that. But if people start seeing it too many times, it's called like fatiguing the creative, which
Mm,
people are seeing it too much, and it's not gonna perform that well. So for me, as long as it's not fatiguing, cool. I can show it to a broad audience, I can show it to a targeted audience, and I can see where it performs. And then I'll have a retargeting campaign as well. So another thing I'll set up is a just a classic retargeting campaign where people who viewed a video, we can do a certain percentage of video views. We can
nice.
do people who visited the listing or whatever. I can retarget them with more videos so that basically, if they ever showed any interest in my product by watching a video to, let's say 75%, or by clicking on the product page, I'm constantly following them, following them. And that's essentially like how the ads work. um
Cool.
i I don't think there's any sort of other optimization really besides
Mm-hmm.
creative, audience, budget,
Exactly.
and then GMV max from
And how you segmented. Yeah.
yeah,
And I
on
guess something I'm sure people might be asking as well is like, of course, all this optimization and strategy we're talking is within TikTok ecosystem, but what about tracking, if possible, how this traffic affects or goes to Amazon? What I mean by that is like we well know that when we were running ads back in the time of using ManyChat and Facebook and all that, you will use a big a pixel URL, and then you could track, how much traffic goes to Amazon with attribution as well. Then you can retarget that pixel. So I guess from a TikTok perspective, are you also using some interconnection between TikTok and Amazon to track essentially the efforts that goes from TikTok to Amazon, and then be able to leverage the audience somehow, or you can't really do that with TikTok as of now? Yeah.
Yeah, as of right now, I think it's just a waste of your time because TikTok is essentially kind of like a brand awareness play. It's like influencer marketing. Can you really track influencer marketing efforts, even if they use a code, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's
you
difficult.
know, you're gonna, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna see 20 people, and then you're gonna be like, let me
It's
take
not
a look at
working.
this product. Yeah, let me, and then I'm gonna type it up on Amazon, and then I'm like, oh, it has good reviews. I'm gonna buy it. So how can you track that? No matter what you do, you're really not going to track that. So the only thing I would say is look at your branded searches, like search volume, and track that. And if that number is going up, it means that it's working. And
Mm-hmm.
then hopefully, without changing too many things on Amazon, if you start, like, let's say you go from one video to 50 videos, $1,000 ad spend to $3,000 ad spend, 5,000 impressions versus 500,000 impressions,
Mm-hmm.
you can see, oh, my revenue is going up, usually more than like it is. My profits are going up. That it is most likely being caused by that. The best way to look at it is this: if you can liquidate your ad spend on TikTok Shop, keep scaling. So don't I mean, if you can become profitable at scale, amazing on TikTok Shop. But for me, for MMA Nutrition, and for a lot of our clients, if I can spend $50,000 a month, $30,000 to $50,000 a month, and break even on TikTok Shop, not lose money, I'm gonna
It's a
get
way
5 to 10 million views, and it's gonna be a huge, huge, huge
impact.
push to my Amazon. It's gonna make more money. My organic rank is gonna go up. It's gonna, so it's like it's just gonna, it's like brand awareness,
Of
maximum
course.
brand awareness.
Yeah, and I guess something given that we're talking about the virality and the type of content, some people might ask themselves like, how do I know TikTok is right for my product? Because let's be honest, there's gonna be certain products that maybe are not meant for TikTok. Maybe I don't know, if you're selling like a cup, right? Maybe a cup is not really interesting a product to make a lot of content that can go viral. But I'm curious to hear your take. Do you have like a kind of a checklist or rule of thumb, like, yeah, these type of products actually are the ones that are really meant for TikTok rather than these ones? Is there something you use as a guideline when it comes to that? Oh no.
Yeah, ultimately, I think one of the easiest. So it's a mix, right? Like it's usually easier to find a reason to do it versus not to do it. And you know what I mean? And so one of the first things I look at is, do I have other competitors that are selling decent search volume? If there's other people doing it, or to same product or similar products, then it's okay. Let's do it. If usually more expensive products don't do that well. So like, let's talk about a product that's 150 $200. How many
Mm,
$200 products are you going to be able to give?
yeah,
And you might be like, you know what, I think it could work on TikTok Shop. Fine. So then you have to go like the very targeted route of like, I only want 20 or 30 creators, but they're really good and they're
The
consistent in
premium.
making content. Exactly, premium. And so price point is a big one. The story that can be told, like one thing that you can do very easily is go and survey 20 different creators and say, hey, do you think you can make interesting videos about this? And if they're like, I don't know, like it's kind of hard, then
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's a little bit too hard. Like, there's just so many different products that like,
Of course.
creator might be like, I'm sorry, I mean, this kind of doesn't sound very interesting to me. That could be a
Yeah.
sign, because your product is going to be very heavily dependent on creators making good content. But if you see anyone selling, if you see a lot of people making content about the general topic, like,
Hmm.
your product solves a certain thing and you see a lot of people doing it, if your product is in a nice price point, under
Yeah.
$50, all of those are positive indications that it would work.
Awesome. And I guess one of my last questions to start bringing the episode to closure is a timelines when it comes to this, because I know, and this is going to be heavily depending on the budget you put on play and also the type of products. But is there some kind of maybe a correlation you start to identify that, some of this awareness after X amount of weeks, usually you start seeing some effect on your brand search terms if you do it correctly? Maybe we're talking weeks, months. Is this something that takes time or is relatively quick because of the virality of the platform? What has been your experience when it comes to that as well?
Yeah, I think virality is just kind of like, if you have a lucky hand, and
Hmm.
it's like, oh, one of the videos went viral, great. But generally speaking, we're talking more along the lines of like video quantity and ad spend. So if you get like about 200 videos or so, 2 to 300 videos, that's when you start to see some traction. 600 videos is generally the threshold that Thrasio told me that for them to see a little bit of virality. And then ad spend, if you start to spend a little bit more and more on money, I would say at least $3,000 to $5,000 a month starting out. To because you have to get traction on all the videos. If you think about it, $3,000 in ad spend, you're talking, let's say for 100 videos, that's what the
Three-
what is it? How
Like
much? I don't know.
300. No,
Yeah, like
3,000 by 100, we're talking like $30 per video, kind of. Yeah.
exactly. So you have to spend like $30 a video, right? To
Mm-hmm.
to start seeing that. Uh, you're talking even more, right? So if you have like 300, 400 videos, you're talking 3 to 4 months spending $30 a video to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, it takes a little bit of time, but it's fully dependent on how much your efforts are into getting those videos, following up with people, getting high quality videos, and then testing them with ads. But yeah, I mean, I would give it like 3 months,
At
four
least.
months before really seeing any decent traction.
Awesome. Great. So, I mean, to be honest, I appreciate all the wisdom. I'm sure a lot of sellers are starting to, consider TikTok is definitely the way to go, especially for those brands that, dealing only with PPCs getting tough with CPCs becoming so high and the competition being so fierce, you really need to start thinking out of the box. And I strongly think TikTok is definitely one of those tools that you can leverage. I guess, is there any last tip maybe you want to share on the TikTok side of things, or maybe Q4, to conclude the episode? Is there any last gold nuggets, as they call it, that you want to share?
I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna say this, right, as a lasting message is the days of having just a brand, like a product on Amazon and like selling products and all this kind of stuff, it's dead now, right?
Hmm.
Everything is about brand, and building a brand is I mean, I'm not amazing at it, right? But the way that, if you can simply break it down, is identify an ICP, an ideal client profile, and identify a problem they have and solve that problem better than everyone else, and continue to do that. And then that really is the initiation of a brand, right? And so if you're not really sure, start with an ICP, figure out what their needs are. Let's say, like, you decided to become a seller with multiple products, but one of your products took off. Figure out what the ICP for that product is, make your brand around that, and then from there, start surveying your ideal customers. See how you can make the product better, see how you can solve the problem, see how you can be better than everyone else. And then slowly you start integrating a little bit more positioning and messaging, some values for the company, and then take that into TikTok shop, start creating content around the product, and you slowly start to have a brand. And make sure that you're reflecting all of that stuff in your creatives, because most people, you go, you look at their listing, and you just look at it, and you're like, you know what, dude, this looks like some Chinese cheap shit. You know what I mean? And people like, that's one of the biggest issues on Amazon is the products. I mean, I'm opening, I have a client product right in front of me. Like, why did you think it was okay to put like these very ugly, like, what, like, you didn't put any effort into it? Maybe because they don't know, maybe they just think it's okay. But
Yeah.
people are buying with their eyes. And think about it, like, we used to have a Nokia phone, right? A shitty Nokia phone. Now this is the standard. So if you
Mhm.
try and like sell me anything that doesn't look this good, like, why would I buy it? And so people
Okay.
still have Nokia phones on Amazon when there's a bunch of iPhones out there. Like, you need to be
Well
able to
said.
compete. You need to be able to compete with that level.
Well said. Anyway, bro, thank you so much for being here. And I'm sure, so many people maybe want to reach out to you to, work with you guys when it comes to PPC or TikTok. So how people can, reach out.
Yeah, definitely hit the website if you're interested at triviumco.com. So
Hmm.
triviumco.com. Or hit me up on LinkedIn, Mina Elias, Minaelias. If you want to learn more, like, get more value, go to my YouTube channel, Mina Elias. I drop a ton of value there. We have a lot of tools that we're giving out for free, a lot of guides, all that kind of stuff. So anything, I could do to help, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know.
Awesome, bro. So thank you so much. And hopefully I see you soon. I'll come in events. Yeah. Have a
Yeah.
nice one.
Let's see
Okay.
you soon, man.
See ya. Bye bye.